Welcome in to Through the Whistle. It's been so long, I know. The waited return is finally here. I know you missed me. I missed y'all too. We're finally gonna be back on YouTube. Don't worry about why Kevon's not here. Don't look at the board behind me, but look at the board behind me. Today is a glorious day. If y'all see this bracket behind me, you know it means that college football is back. Life is good. You know, it smells like that first day of school. I hope y'all got good grades back in the day, because the grade y'all about to give me for this bracket is gonna be an A+. An A+. I don't care what y'all say. But I'm gonna go ahead and get right into it. Y'all don't need me to, get y'all riled up for the football season, because we've been waiting. We've all been down bad. We've been watching FIFA, acting like we all love soccer over here. But we know it's time for the real sport to come back, and that is football. So let's get right into it. Number one, we're only going to show the first 4 seeds plus the G5 bid. G5 bid, Boise State, congratulations. Who cares? No offense. Love you, Boise State. Love your potatoes. Keep doing what y'all doing with 5 guys. Number 1 seed, as y'all can see, we have Texas. Ty, how is Texas number 1? Texas is 12-1. Ty, who's the one loss to? I'll get to that. We'll talk about that later. I can't spoil. They are 12-1 and are SEC champions. And we're going to get further along with these 4, and you're going to be like, why is 12-1 at number 1? But don't worry, I'll explain later. Number 2 seed, Oregon, 12-1 as well. Oregon's 12-1, Big Ten champions. Ty, how did we get here? Don't worry about it. I'll explain later. 3 seed, and the only undefeated team that I have, Notre Dame. Notre Dame, 3 seed. I'll explain why they're at number 3, even though they are an undefeated team. And yes, you're going to say, oh, well, it has to be because they have 12 wins. I mean, everybody else has 12 wins. Everybody else in the top 3 has 12 wins. So by that logic, they're all on the same playing field. They're all, whose 12 wins are better than whose? We can explain that in a little bit. Trust me, I'll get there. In number 4, I have Ole Miss. Ole Miss is my SEC runner-up. They are 11-2. Their one loss, guess what? We'll explain that in a little bit here too. Because, you know what? We'll go ahead and get right into the Ole Miss one. Ole Miss in Texas, playing the regular season. I have Ole Miss losing to Texas. Ole Miss will always be Ole Miss in some shape, form, or fashion. I think that them just being unable to tackle for the 20th year in a row will come back to haunt them. And I understand it's hard to beat a good team twice. It's impossible to beat a good team twice. But I think Texas has something to prove this season. I think Texas is going to be hungry. I think they're going to be playing with their hair on fire, so to say. So with that being said, I think Ole Miss gets punished the least for losing their conference championship. And when we get to 5 and 6, we're going to be like, oh, okay, Ty, I see you was cooking. I see what you was cooking. So let's go ahead and get right into it. As y'all see, Miami's in the number 5 spot. I have Ohio State at number 6 and Baylor at number 11. And you may be asking, Ty, I see a 7 next to Ohio State. I see a 6 next to Miami. Don't worry about these little small numbers within the colored area. Don't worry about that. Nobody, y'all looking too much into the weeds. Y'all's IQ is a little bit too high right now. But I think Ohio State will be number 6 because, 1, Miami has a conference championship. That's a plus. I do think Miami's going to get blown out, though. I think Miami gets blown out by Notre Dame when they go to South Bend. I think it's going to be ugly. I don't think that Miami can travel to the north in November. Y'all heard me correctly. Miami in the Midwest in November. My Midwest people, y'all know, it's going to be like 10 degrees. It's going to probably be snowing. It's going to be a night game in South Bend, Indiana. Boy, and y'all saw Michael Jackson, the movie, Michael? Y'all saw in Gary, Indiana. South Bend ain't too far away from Gary. So y'all, it's going to be cold. I don't think Miami has the troops to do that. But Miami is a conference champion. Ty, who do you have Miami beating in the conference championship in the ACC? I have a dark horse. I think Cal's going to be a really good football team this season. I think Cal has a lot going for them. I think teams that have to fly across the country to the West Coast are going to be at a disadvantage playing against Cal. And I think Cal's quarterback is really good. I cannot pronounce his name correctly, so I won't do that to him. But he's a great quarterback. He showed me a lot. Even though he's a lefty, I don't really like the way lefties throw the ball. But the way it comes out of his hands, it makes it look good. It makes it that boy good. So let's go on to number 6. Number 6 also plays into Notre Dame. Ohio State is 10-3. Okay, Ty, I'm listening. You say they're a Big Ten runner-up, though, right? Yes. That means Ohio State is not Texas's one loss. No. I have Ohio State losing to Texas. I don't think Julian Sand will handle playing in Austin, Texas very well. I don't think that night game atmosphere will be advantageous for Julian Sand. And I think Ohio State lost a lot. Ohio State lost a lot of players, and I don't think a lot of people are talking about how losing your best DB, losing both your linebackers, losing your best pass rusher, losing your best corner. I don't think people understand how hard it is to replace that. I don't think it's going to happen this year. I think Ohio State goes 10-2 in the regular season and ultimately loses to Oregon in the Big Ten championship game. The second loss in the regular season, overall their third in general. Ty, do you have Ohio State losing to Michigan? Now y'all know, I love me some Michigan. Go blue, I bleed blue until I die. If I did that, that probably wouldn't be safe. But anyhow, I'm here to be right. I'm here to be correct. I'm not here to be biased. I'm not here to, stroke my own ego. I'm here to be correct. If I want my bracket to be correct, I must be honest with y'all. Ohio State beats Michigan this year. Yes, I know I'm saying taboo words. Michigan fans, don't come for me. I'm so sorry, but I need to be correct. Ty, does Ohio State lose to Oregon in the regular season? Is that why? Ohio State is Oregon's one loss in the regular season. Remember what I said, it's hard to beat a good team twice. I know Oregon will be having to flock to the Midwest very backwards. I know Birds head west when it comes to, colder seasons. No, Oregon's going to have to come out to the Midwest, playing another de facto home game for Ohio State, because we all know Ohio State travels extremely well. Ohio State is going to take over Lucas Oil. I'm sorry to break it to y'all, but I just do not see Dan Lanning losing 3 straight games to Ohio State, which the third straight game would be the Big Ten championship game. So I have Ohio State beating Oregon, beating Michigan. Ty, what game does Ohio State lose? Tell us. Last year you said Washington was going to beat Ohio State. I'm not that rambunctious. I'm not that crazy this year. I reeled it in. I got mature. Frontal lobe developed. I'm 25 now. Ohio State loses to Indiana. Ty, what do you mean? How's that possible? Yes, I understand that it's going to be everything. Ohio State wants to win that game. They want to get it back in blood. Kirk Cignetti, Ryan Day, 1-1 in peace. Tiebreaker this year goes to Indiana, in my opinion. I don't think Ohio State can go into Indiana and win. They have a lot of good games within a small amount of time. I think that hurts Ohio State, but I may be wrong. I don't think I will be wrong. And remember what I said. Notre Dame at number 3. Don't let it go over your head. Ohio State at number 6 instead of number 5. They are Big Ten runner-ups. That is a great thing to be. You have a great resume. You beat Michigan. You beat Oregon in the regular season. How are you not a top 5 seed? Because let's rewind 6 months or so ago. Probably 8 months ago now. Wow, time's flying. 8 months ago, a certain team said, we are not playing our bowl game. Okay. Y'all think that the NCAA is going to be like, oh, it's okay. You're not getting any trouble for, messing up our money. I don't think that the NCAA really works like that. The NCAA is going to get their stuff back. They don't get it back in blood. And come here. Who has Ohio State lost to Notre Dame in the last 50 years? I don't think so. If you're Ohio State, are you not okay with playing Notre Dame? Are you not okay with playing Notre Dame? Notre Dame, in which, remember what I said. Notre Dame is not a conference champion. They are not a conference champion at all. They played 12 games. Notre Dame will not play a football game for a month and a half. Notre Dame's last regular season game will be in November. Their next game will be in January. Hey, Ohio State, you warmed up right now? You say you're going to beat the brakes off of Baylor? No offense to Baylor. And you think you're warmed up and ready to get our money back against Notre Dame? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it right now. Let's go play. And let's see why Notre Dame is Ohio State's little bro. But I'm kind of getting ahead of my horse right now. We'll talk about it in the second round. I have Baylor winning the Big 12. I think Baylor will play BYU. Ty, why are you high on Baylor? I'm high on Baylor because of a man who made me and Kevon both look dumb last year. DJ Lagway. He couldn't really perform too well in the SEC. Baylor's not that bad. Baylor's always going to be a top half of the Big 12 type of team. But I think when you add in DJ Lagway, when you add in a good quarterback like DJ Lagway, who was pretty in the SEC, but you put him in the Big 12, and now we're hooping. Same way that people were hyping up, hey, Sorsby can get it done for Texas Tech. DJ Lagway is better than Sorsby. So you're telling me he can't get it done for Baylor? I think Baylor will play against BYU or Utah, one of these mountain schools, and I think Baylor will come out on top. They are number 15, but conference champ, top 5 conference champs, make the playoff automatically. So let's talk about these last 4 teams. We're down to 4 spots, and I have 5 teams that are contending for this 5th spot. As y'all can see, I have Auburn, Alabama, Indiana, LSU, Michigan, and USC. And I have resumes listed out. You're welcome. Indeed, you don't got nothing on me. Indeed, you don't have nothing on me. Look how I got these resumes nice and spread out. This is a great spreadsheet. Probably better than my own resume. But we're not going to worry about that. First of all, we have Auburn. We're going to go in alphabetical order. Well, not alphabetical order. Sorry, that was some down south thinking right there. Auburn, dark horse. My dark horse. I think Byron Brown is going to be a really, really, really good quarterback for Auburn. And I think that's going to get a lot done. Auburn, obviously, as y'all can see, beats Baylor, beats LSU, beats Alabama. But they lose to Georgia and Ole Miss. And the thing is, Ty, where is Georgia? I don't think Georgia will be good this year. But I may be wrong. I'm not. Georgia's not good. Georgia will be a 9-3 team. They will be that just outside looking in. They're going to be, but we're playing the SEC. Like, we deserve it. We're Georgia. Shut up. You're not. No, SEC's not that. It means more in the Midwest. We actually play. We actually handle it on the field. We don't do that TikTok. We don't do that complain to the media. Fine, bomb, please save us. No, we don't do that. We don't do that in the Midwest. But like I said, Georgia and Ole Miss are Auburn's 2 losses. Alabama, who are your wins? Georgia, that's 2 losses for Georgia, don't forget. Alabama beats Georgia like they do, but lose to LSU and Auburn. I think that Auburn game is going to be a very big component for who I have in my 4, because last game of the season you lose, it's a sour taste in everybody's mouth. Indiana, they beat Ohio State, like I said earlier, but they lose to Michigan and USC. I think coming down from the Ohio State game and playing Michigan that next week will hurt Indiana. I think that's a very, very, very emotional high that they're going to come off of. I think that will be big noon, the Ohio State-Indiana game. And I think the Michigan game will be a night game. I think it will be Michigan-Indiana at night. I think Michigan gets the best of them. LSU, they beat Alabama, they beat Texas. Their losses, Ole Miss and Auburn. Auburn making a very strong case because they have 2 wins amongst the other 4 teams that are on this panel. Well, other 5 teams are on this panel. I do think they lose in that rematch for Lane Kiffin going back to play, coach against, not play against, the coach against Ole Miss. I don't think they're going to get it done. Trinidad Shamblitz is not going for that. Trinidad, him. Michigan. Michigan has a very interesting resume. because they play Penn State. I think Penn State's going to be probably 9-3, 10-2. I think Penn State's going to lose to USC. And I think Penn State's also going to lose to Michigan, as y'all see. No pun intended. And I also think they may lose to Washington. If they lose to Washington, I wouldn't be surprised. I think the Big Ten, like we all know, is a very good conference. Very plausible that they do lose to Washington. But 10-2 ceiling, 9-3 floor. Very, very small, very, very slim floor and roof and ceiling. I mean, Michigan, I think, beats Oklahoma week 2 in the big house. Very good resume builder because SEC, y'all said they are the best conference. Come on, give them some love because we all know Oklahoma will be in that top 20 at the end of the season because they are an SEC team. As long as you're not 6-6, you're going to be in the top 25 if you're an SEC team. Lastly, I have Michigan beating Indiana. Like I said, emotional high. It's hard to come back down for Indiana. But there's a problem because y'all will say, Ty, that resume at 10-2, they should be in. They should be in no matter what, right? No, because the timing of these next 2 losses for Michigan will be 2 losses in a matter of 4 weeks. I don't think we can go to Eugene and beat Oregon. I don't think we're ready. I do not think we're ready. Like I said earlier, we are probably a season away, and I don't think it's happening this year. And like I said, Ohio State, we're a year away. I wouldn't be surprised if we do beat them, but I think we're a year away. When Savon Hitter is a sophomore, when Bryce is a junior, Andrew Marsh is a junior, we get another year under Kyle Whittingham with no distractions. We can hit the portal as hard as we want. We show that we can actually throw the ball now, and we'll have kids ready to come to Michigan from the portal. But this year, not the year. Last, we have USC. USC's schedule is crazy. I have USC beating Penn State. I have USC going to Indiana and beating Indiana. And I also have USC beating Washington. Washington's going to be a good team. They're going to be about 8-4, 9-3. Well, probably 8-4 if I had to be honest. And then the losses will be to Oregon. And I don't think that USC beats Ohio State strictly off the power of USC needs a break, bro. Like there's no rest, no ramp up. It's just go, 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 go. Hey, here's Ohio State. I don't think that's happening. I think Ryan Day will already have Ohio State fuming and ready to go for the playoff push. And I think USC loses to Ohio State. The last 4 spots, as y'all see on y'all screen right now, USC, LSU, Michigan, and Auburn. I feel like it was easy. Indiana doesn't have that resume. Indiana's only big win in this scenario would be against Ohio State. Auburn easily has the best resume of all of them, in my opinion. I think they're easily in. LSU also up there because they beat Texas. Come on. As you have a win over the number 1 team in the nation, you're going to get in. And Michigan gets in because you beat Indiana. You beat the team that you're being compared directly to. You have to put them in. You have to put them in. You have to put them in. I'm sorry if it feels like I'm being a bias in Homer. I don't see it. I think that Michigan would get the nod amongst the committee. I think they would be the lowest seeded out of the 4 that make it from that 6-man comparison. I think the matchups from there with USC versus LSU, beautiful. Go ahead, call FanDuel. If I had a friend at FanDuel, I'll probably be a lot richer than I am now. But go ahead, call FanDuel, and they're like, hey, over-unders at 90. LSU versus USC, we've been waiting for Lane Kiffin versus Lincoln Riley in a game for decades, for years. Not decades, we're not that old. But we've been waiting for that matchup for years. Offense is going to be popping. And you got to think, LSU can play Texas again. Texas can get their get back. USC versus Texas, beautiful game. Greatest game ever in some people's opinions. Miami and Ole Miss. Ole Miss could get their get back next round. I'm going to go ahead and put Miami there. We already know. Baylor and Ohio State, already said Ohio State versus Notre Dame. Michigan versus Auburn. That's a tough one. I think that, you know what, let's go ahead and skip to the next round. If y'all have been listening, I said Michigan's a year away. Both of Michigan's losses, I said, are on the road. We both know, me and the person watching, we both know, Jordan Hare is voodoo. Kick six, the prayer Mary, it's voodoo. It's scary. It's scary. Shake your hands, Halloween Town. So with that being said, I have Auburn beating Michigan. Like I said, we are a year away in Ann Arbor, in my opinion. If we do make it far, I'm going to be all ears. I'm going to be smiling cheek to cheek, you know, looking at. But, so with that being said, quarterfinals. We have Ole Miss versus Miami in a rematch from last year's college football playoff. We have a rematch from the 2006 national championship game. Some would say the greatest national championship game ever, the greatest game ever, between USC and Texas. They wouldn't be in the Rose Bowl, though. That would be reserved for Oregon. Unfortunately, I wish they could flip it around, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers. Somebody get these beggars out of here. Notre Dame versus Ohio State probably would be in the Fiesta Bowl. We know how that usually goes for Notre Dame when they play this team. But it's a new year, and remember what I said. This defense is missing a lot. And then we have Oregon versus Auburn. Another rematch of another classic championship game from back in the olden days, back when Cam Newton took on LaMichael James and De'Aaron Thomas, with Auburn coming out on top on that game back in the day. Amongst these four games, I don't think that anybody could complain. I don't think that anybody could complain about the matchups. I don't think anybody could complain about the history. I don't think anybody could complain about the brands. The only big brand that isn't making it is Michigan. Like, Oregon's in there. Well, Oregon's not as big as a brand as, like, we all know. Oregon's not that big of a brand. We have Michigan versus Bama in this one. I think the CFP will be like, oh, every ticket for the CFP, even though it's already $1 million per seat, we can do it. Let's move it up. 2 bands per seat. 2 bands that are even getting the nosebleeds. But with these games, let's go ahead and get with who I think will win. As y'all can see, y'all see the champ. Y'all see the winners. 1 time is luck. Twice is, hey, you might have to take another closer look at this. And 3 times is a habit. But if you have a gap in your games as long as a month, we have seen, history has shown, those teams don't play as well in the playoffs. I have not one, but I have 2 games of the lower seed winning. I think Ohio State beats Notre Dame. Ohio State owns Notre Dame. We know that. There's no need for me to lie. There's no need for me to sugarcoat it. There's no need for me to do none of that. Ohio State owns Notre Dame. It will always be that way. Notre Dame and Tommy Carr aren't as good as people are saying. This schedule will save Notre Dame. Notre Dame's schedule is not as good as people say. I understand them beating Miami in a bloodbath. Outside of that Miami game, they are playing like Ty Belcher and crew every Saturday. No. That schedule is not warming you up to play against Ohio State and Jeremiah Smith. You're not doing that. You're not. Don't even lie to yourself. And guess what else? USC has been getting primed for this Texas game all season. Ty, how? How are they getting primed for this game? You played against Ohio State. You played against Oregon. You're playing against great teams. You done played last year, Michigan. You played a really good Washington team. You played great opponents. You played Indiana. You played great defenses. And you're going to tell me Lincoln Riley with 2 weeks isn't beating Sark? You're telling me that? I love Texas. I love some players that they got out there. It's not them. It's just not in their cards. Texas, I'm sorry to break it to you, but guess what? That top 5 brand spot, that chain is getting snatched by USC this year. I'm so sorry to break it to y'all. Lincoln Riley is finally going to get over that hump. Lincoln Riley is getting over that hump this year. I'm telling y'all right here. I'm telling you first. Last year, we had the seats. The defense got better. things got better. Everything got better. And this is the year they put it all together. In the top game, we had Miami versus Ole Miss. Ole Miss, they're getting it back in blood. Ole Miss, Trinidad Chambliss and Kyron Lacey, not Kyron Lacey, RIP, Mr. Lacey. K1 Lacey, the running back for Ole Miss, they have unfinished business. They knew what it's going to take. They knew what it was last year. They were one drive away. They were one drive away from being in the national championship game. Trinidad makes it happen this year. Trinidad Chambliss is making it happen this year. So let's talk about Ole Miss versus USC. Once again, call Vegas. Let's call them. Who just called my phone? It's me, Ty Belcher, calling for Vegas. Ole Miss versus USC, over under at 90. Let's just go ahead and just. Lincoln Riley versus the best quarterback in the nation. The best quarterback in the nation, Trinidad Chambliss. Come on, let's talk about it. Should be at Michigan, but I ain't gonna say too much. Over under is gonna be at 90. Easy. Not even close. Not even close. That game's gonna be electrifying. Probably in what where do they have the game? Who cares? I don't get paid to know where these games are gonna be at, because that's out of my scope. Game's gonna be amazing. Ole Miss versus USC. Two of the top five quarterbacks in the nation in that game, because we have Jordan Maeva, who I think is going to be Jaden Maeva, Jordan or Jaden, either one. Both good players. Whether you're Jordan or Jaden, you're a good player. Versus Trinidad Chambliss. Beautiful game. And down here, we have the rubber match. If you don't know what a rubber match is, it's when it's 1-1 in wrestling. Rubber match, it's a tiebreaker. Ohio State versus Oregon. Oregon, every year, we know what happens with Oregon. They get to the big moment, Dan Lanning starts to choke. Dante Moore, wherever quarterback, insert quarterback for Oregon, and they're going to start choking. Whether it's Justin Herbert, whether it's Bo Nix, whether it's Dylan Gabriel, whether it's Dante Moore last year, whether it's freaking, not De'Aaron Thomas, freaking one bro, Jeremiah Masoli. They're going to get to the big moment, pee down their leg, and they're playing Ohio State, who's been here. Jeremiah Smith wants redemption. Jeremiah Smith just said that he wants to go as crazy as Devontae Smith did his Heisman Trophy year. Dan Lanning, will you get your chain snatched? The chain will stay intact. Debo is not coming for Oregon's chain this year. I have Oregon and Ole Miss advancing in a game that will actually have the two best quarterbacks, in my opinion, playing. The national championship game will have the two best quarterbacks in college football playing for it. Trinidad Chambliss, who I have winning the Heisman. Trinidad Chambliss. Next question. Versus Dante Moore, who I thought would have been the best quarterback coming out this past NFL draft. I think he would have been the best quarterback. He felt he wasn't ready, needed some more reps. I respect it. Didn't want to play for the Raiders. I understand you. He is now taking on Trinidad Chambliss. And hopefully Trinidad Chambliss' last game as a freaking college quarterback. He's like my age. Michigan, you should have never let him out the backyard. He was at Ferris State. We should have got him. But we're going to have a barn burner. Trinidad, he's hurt. Like I said, him and K1, they sniffed the championship last year. They were this close. Both these teams were in the semifinal last year. Very, very different endings. Ole Miss lost in the last possession. Oregon got belt for 60 minutes against Indiana. And this year, which team ends their drought? Ole Miss, who went through so much when Lane Kiffin left. Ole Miss, who fought so hard, tooth and nail, for Trinidad Chambliss to be able to play this year. Or will it be Oregon? Oregon, who goes under the radar with spending a lot of NIL money. Oregon, whose biggest booster, Phil Knight, the owner of Nike, CFO, CEO, basically the owner of Nike, said, I want to see Oregon win the championship before I die. Phil Knight's pretty old. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know how old he is, but he's old. I don't know how many more chances he's gonna have. Which team ends their drought? Which O will be saying, oh yeah, we won a championship. Oh yeah. Shout out to the Doug Zone. Shout out to the Doug Zone for this graphic. Trent, I'm sorry. You are my Heisman Trophy winner. That's why I had to put the question mark over the Heisman Trophy. Dante Moore and Oregon will be the national champions. They will be national champs. And yes, y'all know what this means. The Big Ten, 4 straight years, national championship. Tuck your chain, SEC. It means more in the Midwest. It don't mean nothing in the South. Football is a hobby for y'all. Come on, the Midwest does this football stuff. I have the Oregon Ducks as your national champions for this upcoming season for the 2026-2027 championship. That's coming home to Eugene, coming home to the Big Ten. Ty, why do you think Oregon's going to win? Because if y'all know anything about anything, Ole Miss will show you that they are Ole Miss. Tackling will be bad. There will be gaps in coverage. The size of my arms. My arms are pretty long. And Dante Moore is going to exploit that. I think with Stewart coming back this year, Oregon will not be stopped. Doug Zone, shout out to the graphic once again. I don't know. I think that says food reviewer. I don't know what that says. Crazy. But I do have Oregon winning the national championship this season. And that right there wraps up my 2026-2027 CFP bracketology with Ty Belcher. With that being said, y'all let me know down in the comments where y'all agree, where y'all disagree. I know the second one won't be a thing. I know y'all won't disagree anywhere. You're gonna be like, oh, Ty, how are you so smart? I'm like, my mom taught me. Got my brain from my mom and my dad. Smart. So in 4 months, when you're like, shoot, Baylor creeping in there, Auburn's 9-2 going into the Iron Bowl. Maybe Ty was right. Remember, I'll let y'all know to keep going through the whistle.